Thank you for clicking on the video. Welcome back to the channel. This is another review for Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 4, Episode 7, Love and Lockup. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time. On the remainder of this party because, of course, it was to be continued. So we're picking back up at Nell's party. Tisha is saying she did all of this just for her to turn around and say she RSVP for Stormy's event. And so it's like, you going anyway, so why did you eat? What was the point? What was the reason? Anyway, Tisha's drunk. She want to talk to Nell while the other ladies kind of excuse themselves. She got an issue with Nell. I don't know if she did an interview or whether this was in the comments. I don't know, because, you know, we have to bring everything that has happened on social media onto the show. And so Nell was out there saying that she and Tisha had a mentee-mentor type of relationship. Tisha resents that remark because she felt like they were building a friendship. And so why would you be telling people that we have a mentor-mentee type of relationship when we're friends? And when it comes to Nell, she didn't feel like that was an issue. But anyway, whatever. Over there in the corner, Stormy is talking to Marceau. She's confused. I don't understand why your wife had all this energy for me, because I didn't come on that, and so I don't know why she was giving me that. Of course, we have to remind Stormy of what transpired in the past as far as that reunion goes. Courtney and Stormy are ready to move forward. This was their olive branch, and they don't understand why the Scotts aren't seeing it that way. Why they would take it any other way, but, you know, these people are just trying to extend an olive branch. Courtney gonna say he's taking up for his wife. That's the right thing to say. It was very condescending. Marceau felt a little slighted, but he moved on. They're good. Marceau, he says that, you know, they're cool. We're gonna have to fill each other out. Hopefully they're starting over. He said he liked the blonde though. I like that blonde though. Courtney say, give your own wife compliments. Go look at your own wife's hair. Anyway, Nell and Tisha, they're still talking. I think I wrapped them up, their whole conversation. Yeah, because Nell get up on that table, then she hop up on Chris. It's just all too much. It's very cringe. Moving on. Chris and Courtney and Martell, they meet up to throw the football. These men don't be having nothing to do with, as far as like when they film. It's almost as if I'm feeling like Courtney is supposed to be the one setting up the scene, and instead of Courtney inviting these people like to do anything besides stand here and act like y'all gonna throw the football around. Yeah, I mean, let's just get a little bit more creative. But anyway, they out there not throwing the football. Martell immediately walks up with a chip on his shoulder. You know, he feels a way about Nell not inviting him to her birthday party. Chris says that both he and Melody be on that bullshit sometimes, you know, and so it's really hard for them to kind of navigate now. They don't want to pick sides, but they know that they can't have them in the same room. It's really a lot. Martell's, he gonna say, we don't ever have issues when we together. I couldn't even say it without laughing. I'm surprised he did. I'm surprised he got it out without falling out laughing. Anyway, he got issues with Chris. You know, Chris, I feel like you just like the Scotts, you know, trying to hold me accountable. Courtney is pretty neutral because I feel like Courtney just doesn't care one way or the other. He wants to know if Chris was supportive of Nell not inviting him. And of course he was. He gonna do what his wife, you know, he's gonna side with his wife. I mean, it just is what it is. It was her birthday party. Martell gonna say, I don't want to hear no complaints out of Nell when Mel gets to cutting her off, because it's coming. It's absolutely gonna come, especially after filming. And so I don't want to hear nothing when she cut y'all off. Courtney asked about asked Martell about the Galentine's gala. You know, are you participating? Martell is like, I'm a little apprehensive. He feel like he got a dad bod. Martell, you just want us to tell you that you bodied. He just wanted to tell him, you bodied, Martell. Okay, you bodied. Okay, it's abs always. Nice pecs always. Arms always. The body is gonna always give. So please. With this dad bod. Okay, Martell. Anyway, just fishing for a compliment, because please. But he said he apprehensive. He asked about Trisha's man. He like, ain't he a bodybuilder? Ain't he swole? I mean, there's that body type, and then there's your body type. His body type isn't the, and by his I mean Ken. His body type isn't the goal. Not for everybody. Cause I mean, it's people like me don't even like that. So yeah, he need to be there. Martell, you can go on be up there. You know, let's get a few different frames. Anyway, Courtney, he shares that he and Ken grew up together. Everybody is invited to the function. And so he's asking, is that why you really hesitant? Because Melody's going to be there? And he say he ain't worried about who going to be there. He's really concerned about his body not being up to par. That's really what he's worried about. Anyway, Marceau. Y'all, this rental property is just so ridiculous. I feel like they beg them people don't show the outside of the house, only the inside, because the inside gives mansion. It gives, you know, a modern, you know, new property. We're supposed to fall for the illusion. Meanwhile, outside, the highway right off the property is the streets. The cars are just driving back and forward and back and forward. Because that's the type of neighborhood they live in. It ain't like fenced off or nothing. So it's like you come out your door, highway, freeway, cars coming, going and coming. Like it's like at a major intersection or something. Anyway, y'all aren't. We know that y'all aren't in your dream home. And it's fine. You ain't got a lot to kick it. Because we saw the outside of that rental property. We saw it. We saw it already. I guess it's for the new viewers. They're supposed to think, "Ooh, their house is so nice." And I'm not saying that it's not, because the upgrades do look nice. I don't think that they match with the area, nor do they match with the home itself, with the build, all of that. And make no mistake about it, when you upgrade your house, and that's one thing that I was afraid of with my own home and doing renovations and doing upgrades, things like that. I didn't want to take it too far. Like, I'm not trying to create the dream home in this house. I would rather go to the next house and all of that stuff be there. It's kind of like that for me. It just looks like, why y'all put all that in that little bitty house when y'all could have just did all that at the Scott Manor? Anyway, Marceau gets to the house. Tisha, she first they got to talk about Kimmy's project. Have you talked to Maurice? What's the deal on that? I'm gonna need you to be timely with it. She don't want to have to backtrack with Kimmy. You know, they've made a lot of progress in their relationship, and she doesn't want to go backwards. She don't want to be beefing with Kimmy over this. They had a Black Expo in Atlanta. Didn't film it, but they had a Black Expo here. They got excuse me, they got it right this time. They had a few keynote speakers. They implemented some of the things that Melody suggested they implement for the next one. Sponsorships, vendors, different maybe a couple of different panels, that sort of thing. Most importantly, sponsorship. And so they did it. They did all that this time. They also asked her to speak, to be a keynote speaker. She declined. She had a previous engagement. And so there's that. Tisha shares that Mel wanted to speak with Marceau because he out here doing interviews and talking to the press. Marceau is like, he feels like the target is always on them. And that everybody that comes up against them, they always end up in a worse situation, i.e. Mel and Martell ended up divorced. Louis and Tiffany, they're out of it. Whatever, Marceau. Did we move on? Let's move on. Oh, and Amin and Kiki, that they were also on the list. Tisha says, add Stormy as well. Because she felt like, everybody felt like what was telling her that she was operating off of that liquid courage, but when it comes to Tisha, she's not taking the bullshit anymore. That's just where she's at with it. Marceau isn't empathetic. He is an absolute. My husband is like this. It's just a trait that some men have, where we're not coddling and babying your ass. You were wrong. You fucked up, and he gonna tell you. My personality type can take it. I can take that because I'm very direct that way as well. So I appreciate someone being direct with me, holding me accountable, all of those things. Tisha, on the other hand, she wants you to blindly follow her. Don't hold her accountable, especially on TV. That's really what it is for her. She'd be embarrassed because he won't ever side with her and with her antics, because she did show her ass at that party. She was very drunk and she was mouthing off, burning bridges left and right. And so, yeah, he corrects that. He gives her feedback, but when we talk accountability, and she don't be wanting to hear it. First she gives a little pushback, almost like we're not going down that road, and he's just like, okay. He, acquiesces, and then she doubles back. So I'm not accountable? Girl, he was moving on. And you had to reel it back in this direction. Okay. So he says, yes. He says your default is always what's in my eye, child? It's really okay. Anyway, I lost my place. Marceau says her default is to be defensive. She feels like he's constantly trying to correct her behavior, and it's embarrassing for her. Marceau says, do you think that these are the only mistakes that you make? No, absolutely not. He picks and chooses what to check her on. But make no mistake about it, you make more mistakes than I correct you on. Tisha was looking real cheap. She got her corner napkin, wiping her tears as Candace would do over there on Potomac. She had it folded perfectly. Candace, you might want to go on and get that stuff copywritten. You might want to go on and get you a deal of some sort, because the people is stealing your stuff. That's your thing. The triangle is your thing. Don't let these folk come in and try to take your triangle. They really leave things, kind of in an awkward space. He says he just won't communicate things to her anymore. They leave it there. Anyway, Mel and Stormy, they meet up. This was a nice scene, very refreshing. They're building, or they're working. They both, I guess, have come to the realization we're going to work. We're going to film these scenes, and that's just going to be that. We don't have to think too deep into it. We're working. They briefly talk about the podcast. You know, she was appreciative of Stormy showing up. We talk about Sonny and Moses and the Destiny situation. Stormy is like, I'm not going to say, like, I'm not mad at them people for being in love. Because, I mean, you can't help who you fall in love with if that, you know, you can. I hate that term. You can't help who you fall in love with. Yes, you can. Because if you don't engage with somebody that you shouldn't be engaging with in the first place, then won't be no falling in love. And it, like, you ain't in love at first sight. It takes time for love to come around. And so there were plenty of opportunities for you to steer in another direction and not even go down that road because you know that's your friend's man. You can't help who you fall. Yes, you can. You can absolutely control that. I just don't even understand where that came from. But anyway, Stormy feels like, you know, there's no doubt that they're in love, and it is what it is, but the way that she's positioning herself and posturing herself like she ain't did nothing wrong, or like Destiny has wronged her in some kind of way, she kind of has a cocky energy, and that's what we're not gonna do. We're not gonna do that. Why y'all doing that to Destiny? She don't deserve it. She don't deserve that. Mel changes the subject to Tisha at the party, you know, how turned up she was. So why was she on that energy? We don't know. Mel's being very messy, but, I mean, she has to move the story along. So, hey, it is what it is. They trying to pinpoint Tisha's temperament, though. Like, why was she so rah-rah? Stormy, she switches the subject to Martell being invited to this Galentine's Gala. Listen, I didn't want to just drop it on your friend, so I'm just giving you a choice. Mel says, oh, he is? Okay, well, I hope you guys have a great time, because I won't be there. I just won't come. Just flat out, she ain't going. And so that's just that. Trisha, she's gonna train Martell. Trisha reintroduces herself. This entire scene was very flirty, still there's an undertone of, we know something y'all don't know. It's all in their eyes. She better not be one of Martell's hoes. She better not be. If Carlos brought one of Martell's mistresses on this goddamn show, heads are gonna roll. Anyway, not to go through their conversation over and over and over again, but Martell, they have this conversation about her relationship with Ken. You're married, so you got a side dude. He a side dude. You ain't got to explain to me he a side dude. You still married, so yeah, he a side dude. Martell, you're the one that had a mistress. He wants everybody to be in the mud with him. Martell, it was just you. You by yourself. You all by yourself. You was the only one on this cast that we know of that had a whole mistress for a number of years. You also got said mistress pregnant more than once. You had the side chick. These people with overlapped relationships, that ain't the same as what you had going on, sir. You came home to Melody every night as if during the day you weren't out entertaining other women. On trips with other women. And you think that's the same as these two people who are saying, he gonna say, I would say me and Mel separate. She had a side nigga too. He's gonna stand on that, on the fact that she tiptoed around, got a little head in her separation. She was done with your ass, Martell. Y'all got back together for this show, so she could turn around and divorce your ass and be squared away financially. My girl played the long game, okay? So there's that. But Martell want everybody to be in the dirt with him, down in the mud. No, y'all ain't the same. Just please cut it out. Anyway, Mel, she meets with Marceau. because she got to talk to him about why he talking to anybody. You know, we do the pleasantries. Oh, how was the Black Expo? Oh my God, it was nice. Okay, y'all did. Did you have sponsors? Okay, you did. Oh, good. Good. I'm so glad to hear it. I'm so glad to hear it. So, why you do that interview? What you doing interviews? Why you talking about the situation? What's that? What's that? Why you felt like you needed to make a statement? Marceau says because of the show, their lives are intertwined, they're connected. Of course, that y'all are all linked in some form of way. Like a media outlet is gonna ask one group about the next, you know, that sort of thing. But you don't have to speak on that. You don't have to elaborate on things. You don't have to do any of that. Marceau says that. Hold your line. All right, we back. Marceau says that when Martell was arrested, what got out in the streets was that it was Marceau. And so he wanted to clarify that. Of course, Mel is like, and that's fine. You can absolutely make that clarification without all that other extra stuff. You took it too far. And it was a text message. Then we find out that the person, the blogger, whoever this person was, is a friend of Marceau. So of course, you know, he out giving quotes via text. We see the text message. In the text message, she said, "Free Martell." And so there's that. And the person was like, "Oh, can I quote you on that?" And he said, "Yes." And she said, "Why the fuck would you do that? What the fuck is wrong with you?" Really? Free Martell? No, free Tisha. No, for real. I want Tisha to free herself. Free yourself. Okay? And the rest will follow. Anyway, to be continued. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's Call Me Busby, and I'll chat with you later. Peace and light.